what made you want to do this?
So first off, I've been kind of following your stuff. Obviously, kind of in a similar industry with my web design background, digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Started at a young age and have kind of just been adding on things as I go. And I kind of stumbled across your stuff somewhere. I'm not obviously on Instagram, but I'm not sure if it was just organic reels or if I was searching for something. But really like the stuff you're putting out. Gave me some ideas. I was able to kind of use some of it. So that's kind of the main reason. I figured, hey, you're offering to make more specific advice for people. I'd love to kind of get some input from you because you've definitely got a lot of experience.
Cool, man. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. So when you messaged me, you have two different businesses. So you have the web design and then you have the cleaning side. So where do you want to go? Like, where do you want to go first? Like, what do you want to dive into?
Yeah. So I figured we could dive into the web design stuff first.
Sure.
The local agency feel. For kind of clarity too, the cleaning side of things is more my in-laws kind of business.
Okay. That's cool.
Turning from a side hustle into a business. So,
nice.
They're super business savvy, so that's kind of where I'm helping them out.
Nice.
But yeah.
Very cool. All right. Awesome. So, I looked at your website for the web design stuff. You primarily do WordPress, or what do you do?
Yeah, we started off Squarespace and moved to Wix, and now just WordPress is my favorite. There's a few cases here and there where I might recommend somebody check out Wix if they're kind of doing the DIY route.
Right.
But otherwise, as an agency, I hate using it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really focus on WordPress.
Nice. Okay, cool. So what are you struggling with there? Like, where do you think, what might you need some help with?
So the biggest thing is we've wanted to use social media to kind of grow our business. Especially here locally, when you look up like web design in our city, we already rank number one both on Google My Business or Google Business Pages, as well as the organic search results.
Okay.
Sometimes we battle it out with Yelp. Sometimes they'll outrank us. Sometimes we'll outrank them. And so on that side of things, I'm building up city pages and kind of growing our organic SEO footprint. But I'm also looking to see how we can leverage social media, because for my main agency, Spiderweb Dev, our main goal is to be more of a centerpiece in the community, helping people who want to start their business, who are trying to grow their business. And so just trying to connect with them through social media if possible. We kind of went through the route before of like kind of posting covers to blog posts we create, little things like that obviously everybody does. They just kind of post things that are static. They don't really do much.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find what might be the most bang for my buck, so to speak, when it comes to using social media to kind of grow our business. But I'm also open to any other suggestions you have. We're kind of looking at, cold outreach, both via email, maybe a little bit via phone, but also just like popping into local businesses saying, hey, we ran an audit on your website, things like that. Just kind of looking at different approaches.
That's great. Yeah. So when you're talking about wanting to do more with social, do you mean locally, or are you talking more on like a larger scale?
So I guess kind of both.
Okay.
Obviously, if you can only pick one, then obviously I'd have to pick just one. And if I did have to pick just one, I'd probably do more of a national, because that's probably a much bigger pond than just locally. But I also don't want to just give up and forget about local as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So are all of your clients currently local, or do you have others throughout the states and elsewhere?
Yeah, I have others from around. It's definitely more leaning local as opposed to national, but yeah, I do have others. That
probably is because of all that organic SEO that you've done up until now, right? I assume.
Yeah, and especially like recently, most of our business comes from organic search results.
Makes sense.
And referrals.
Yep. So that would keep it relatively local, because it's going to be hard to compete with, the larger firms on a national level, especially like with Squarespace and Wix and all those others that are, fighting for those top spots organically. It's just going to be impossible to compete with that, right? Okay. So, do you guys do paid advertising, or are you strictly organic?
Yeah, we don't do any paid advertising. Like, obviously I think we threw $50 at a Google ad once that we forgot about. Paid, $50 here or there over the years to boost a social media post on Facebook. That's
right.
About it.
Gotcha. Okay. So so you kind of dabbled in it, but nothing really like too intentful. Nothing really with a lot of intent.
Right.
So
Never really got dirty in it. No.
Yeah, gotcha. So the thing about that is, when you're throwing a couple of bucks here and there to boosted posts, they don't really ever have like a really clear objective. Like, it's very hard to measure. Like, am I getting anything out of this? Really, what you're trying to do is like amplify that post and get it in front of more people. And we really don't ever do that for our clients. Like, if we're running paid social ads, we have a completely separate campaign dedicated to either website traffic or video views or lead generation, whatever that might be, and putting a pretty substantial budget behind that with doing special creative just for those types of campaigns. What I would recommend boosting, though, are organic posts that are doing well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just kind of expanding the eyeballs that can see that, because it's already working out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you have a piece of content for your web design company that's like, here's 5 things that every homepage should include, right? Maybe it's that piece of content, and that's getting a lot of really good organic engagement. That would be a good piece to put some money behind and have that link refer back to your website to try to generate some leads because that post is doing really well. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that leads me to my next question is, are you making content like that for your web design agency?
It's a trickling faucet. Usually around January 1st, we hit the ground running. Then we get real busy beginning of the year, and then it kind of falls back into the back burner.
Yep.
But I have some things lined up. I just need to implement it more.
Yeah, because if you're trying to grow on social, creating that short form content, if you don't have a big advertising budget, that is, and you want to grow on social, that's going to be that's your ticket to ride, basically. So start thinking about what sorts of questions do all of your clients ask you? What sorts of things are you seeing on websites that are things that are wrong that businesses are doing? You could even go so far as to find small business websites on the web, blur out their names, and pick them apart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because every small business needs a website. We all know this, and unfortunately, websites have become kind of commoditized. You can spend $15,000 on a website here in the United States. You can go spend $300 on one overseas, and everywhere in between. There's no like set. It's not like a really clear set standard of what a website should cost, what it should do. And so you got to kind of set yourself apart there. And depending on who your clientele is, finding websites that have those issues that you guys normally solve on a regular basis, pointing those out with video content, I think could be really big. So I have a marketing agency in upstate New York, right? And one of the areas that we don't serve our website is web design, because I have such a hard time finding somebody that is reliable, that's affordable, that can help small to mid-sized businesses with their website. And it's frustrating to me that I can't find one as an agency. So I can only imagine what that's like for a business owner or a startup or somebody that's looking to get this done, that they're just like frustrated enough and they're like, you know what, the hell with it. I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm going to go to Squarespace. I'm going to go to Wix. It's going to look like crap. It's going to be cheap, but it's going to be something where, they could be your client.
Yeah.
So, you said you kind of dabble in the content creation side of things, but that's mainly where you're going to get more exposure on social, is by doing that.
Yeah.
Is posting on TikTok and posting on Instagram and doing Instagram Reels and doing Facebook Reels and and even doing some organic LinkedIn video, because your clients are businesses, right? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if you need more help strategizing what sort of content to be making, because that a lot of times that is what people get hung up on the most. They're like, I know I have to do it, but I have no idea what to make, so I'm just not going to make anything. If you need that kind of direction, or what you're looking for.
Yeah. So
hey, can you hit
these things are. I'm glad you kind of brought some of these up, because they're things that other people have mentioned before, and I've thought about myself. I do know that perfectionism gets in the way, because I want to have like crispy, clean videos, right? And like this webcam, it's not bad. Like obviously, there's way worse things, and I think my audio is not too bad, so I got a good mic, but still, it's not where my perfectionism wants it to be. That, in addition to I'm not much of a person that just gives up, but at the same time, I know with this type of business or this type of content, it takes a lot of repetition before you really start to see much. And I think I've heard some things I mentioned too, where you might want to do more quantity than quality in the beginning, and then start switching over to quality than quantity as you go. So in that sense, with what my industry, what your understanding is of my industry with these types of, I wrote them down earlier. Frequently asked questions, short form videos, problems I see. Essentially, that's one of the reasons why I followed you too, is because a lot of stuff you were talking about, I was like, I want to make videos like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Around here, right? What would be a good general strategy in terms of a video a day, a video a week? I know more is probably better, but what would you say would be a smart but reasonable starting point for me to put this content out?
I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself to say, I want to put out a video every 3 days or a video a week or a video a day, because that's just going to bog you down again mentally, I think. I think what you try to do is, I think you pick a day and time, and try to, and block out 2 hours where your goal is just to make some videos. However many you create is how many you create. Because the hardest part about all of this is just getting started, especially if you've got that perfectionist kind of mentality where it's it's got to be good enough. I need to have better lighting. I need to have a better camera. I need to have better audio. That'll stop you from making just one video. So if you could just make one and just get the ball rolling, you're going to be better off than just kind of perseverating on, I need to make it look better or sound better. There's something to be said about the stupid green screen effect on Instagram and TikTok right now, where, you could have a website as the image, like a homepage of a website on the as the image, blur out the name and be like, you see this call to action right here? This call to action is too small. And let me tell you something, that video can look like crap and perform incredibly well.
That's a good point.
So, and realistically, think about that. How many of those can you make in an hour? Mm-hmm. Or then showcase one of your clients. This is an example of a good blog post on a website, and show one of your clients' websites, right? It has a clear title, has a really good thumbnail, and it's broken out in these bullet point, whatever it might be, and just green screen it. You don't need a good camera for that. You could do that right on your phone. You don't need a good microphone. You could do that right on your phone. And if you really want to get, better audio, you can just run that audio through the Adobe Enhanced Speech, like I made a video about. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
That thing works remarkably well, even if you're using your phone microphone. So, I would just block out some time to make as much as you possibly can. And then let's say you sit down and you make five videos, and you're like, all right, you know what? I want to release these, once every 2 days for 10 days. And that's what I'm going to do. Make sure on your calendar, you have it set to, 7 days from now, I'm recording 5 more videos. Right? Because you don't want
to make a habit, not so much a goal.
Oh, absolutely. And because what happens too is if you are always just trying to think of something to record, you may just sit down and record one video, and then you're burnt out. You don't want to do anymore. But if you can just make sure that you have it on your calendar that this is the day I create, this is the day I create.
Yeah, I like that.
And utilize the notes app on your phone. Utilize the voice recorder on your phone. If you get an idea for something, you're like, oh shoot, I got to make this into a video later. Throw it in your notes app, or just do a quick voice record and with the idea. Even if you don't record that idea for another 30 days, you have it. So that way, when you sit down to record, you're like, oh crap, what am I going to record? You've got a bunch of backlog too.
Yeah.
And as you see things throughout your workday, as you see things online that could be content, but you might be working on a page or something, jot it down. That's going to be super helpful.
Sweet. And then essentially, as I make that content I start to see through really well, then maybe shift to creating ads for those.
As you get content that is performing well, that's a good sign that content like that, or even that piece itself, could be used as an ad. If it's performing well organically, there's a really good chance that if you put some money behind it and actually target it properly, it'll perform really well as an ad.
Right.
As long as you have a good call to action and a good, just a good call to action and a good directive to it.
So beyond like content and ads, are there other maybe like guerrilla marketing things? I don't really know what all that kind of falls into for you, or if it's more so just ads and content, but that you can also think of that if you had a web design company, what would be the number one thing you would do?
Oh my God. I probably make a fortune because there's millions of businesses that need it. All right. So cold emailing, I'm personally not a fan of. But that's just me, right? I like when people come to me. I'm not somebody that will do a lot of outreach. Doesn't mean that it won't work, but that's just my opinion. One of the things that I like to do if I'm gonna cold outreach is I look at a client that I work with, right? So let's say it's a lawyer on Main Street in this town that I work in, right? I look left, I look right to his or her business and be like, okay, I'm going to reach out to this person. Hey, just finished up a web design project for your neighbor next door. Notice that your website might need some updating. Is that something you're interested in working on? Now it's a little warmer. It's not so cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My previous attempts at that was with the Home Builder Association, because at one point, I still kind of am, but at one point we did a really awesome home builder website recently. I've done a couple of them. There's a home builder association that one of the home builders invited me to. They had like this networking thing where you essentially just take, I think it was like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, like that, just give your spiel. I combined that with an email that I sent out, I believe, after or before.
Okay.
I forget exactly how I did it. But my email that my cold outreach was essentially like, hey, this is my name, I'm in the community. I'm wanting to just offer some free time to anybody who has questions about digital marketing, websites, SEO, all that stuff. 15 minutes, just let me know if you're interested. And I promise not tell you anything. In fact, if I do pitch you something, I pay you $500. So that was kind of my approach. But I really like what you mentioned too about already warming them up because somebody they might know.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's look left, look right. That's basically it. Like you're looking at your client, look left, look right. Can you help the person to the left of them? Can you help the person to the right? And just reach out that way. As far as other things online, I think if you're going to do paid, I think you will have a better opportunity to be more local if you do paid.
Yeah. And focus and prove that I'm local too, instead of it just being like, oh, the random website company wants to sell me websites.
Right, because I don't know where your devs are. I don't know where, they could be overseas, and if they are, that's fine. But some people might want to have a face that they can meet with on a regular basis, especially if you're doing more ongoing services like SEO or content for them. They might want to be able to have somebody that they can meet with. I have. There's a company that I refer websites out to that are more like on the much higher end, but they also do some smaller hosting and maintenance. I refer that work out to them because they are local, because there's somebody that you can walk into their office and see people working. And if you have a question, you can actually go there and ask them. Right. So I think that would benefit you probably more on the local side. If you're going to do paid, I think it'll benefit you more locally.
Awesome. One thing too I've thought about, and I have done this in the past, is working with other agencies. We just teamed up with like a GMB, Google Business Profile SEO guy, and he doesn't do websites, kind of similar to you. And he ended up just sending us a bunch of leads that have almost doubled our output because of that.
Yep.
And so that's something I'm looking to kind of keep scaling as well. People who do social media, people who do ads, people who do video, who don't want to do websites or don't feel like they can do them the best.
Yep.
Something that we can kind of come in and help them with as well.
So that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask you is, do you have referral partners where you're in similar industries, your clientele is the same, but they don't offer the service that you offer? That's one of the easiest ways to get more business, is by offering your services to a company that would complement the services that they offer, but not compete.
Yeah. And that's something I've been working on the last about 6 months.
Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of social media agencies that won't touch websites. There's a lot of video agencies that won't touch websites. But they all need it to make their services work even better.
Yeah. So where do you send everybody? To the website?
That's it. Let me tell you something, man. It drives me nuts when I'm like, all right, we're building out a campaign for you. We're building all these video ads. We're building out all this content. Where are we sending them? And the website sucks.
Yeah.
You're about to waste a lot of money because your website sucks. So 100%. Yeah.
Referral partner, there you go.
What's that?
If you need a referral partner for websites,
dude, let's talk, man. Let's talk. I'm looking for the middle of the road web design person. I don't need somebody that's going to build a $20,000 infrastructure. I want something that's for the local plumber that's going to destroy compared to all the other plumbers in the area. That's what I need. Like that's been something that's very hard to find for me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's when it comes to SEO, the god awful phrase, it depends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But for us, we typically kind of stay more in that middle part. And I hear people like, oh yeah, $20K for a website. To me, that's just not my jam, so to speak. I think that those really high end websites where they pay, $6,000 a page is cool, but too much stress for me because I want to make sure they get really good bang for their buck, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, listen, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that like $2,000, $3,000 website that's going to be responsive, that's going to run fast, that's going to help them generate leads and be light years ahead of where they are right now. That's what I'm looking for. So if you can fill that, we might have to have another conversation another day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, based on what you're telling me, we've checked all those boxes for our clients. So.
That's great. That's good to know. That's good to know. We'll probably talk about this after the fact, but yeah, man, I think I think a good US based company for web design that can serve the small to mid-sized business has tremendous upside because all you have to do is do a decent job.
Yeah. So it's lower bar.
It's crazy, but that's what it is.
Yeah. And yeah, we're a small team. Me and my wife own it and run it. And our developer, she's also our in-house unicorn. Developer, graphic designer, website designer. She manages her own projects too, and she's US based as well. So.
Fantastic, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to talk afterwards.
Okay.
We'll have to set up another time to talk about that because I think I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. But any other questions on like on the content side or the social side or the marketing side of things? I think you've got like, I think you know what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the thing that intimidates me now, it's a dumb thing to say because literally I've gotten this far, sort of just using the skills that I've learned from YouTube, Google, and all of that. But like you were explaining the green screen effect. Like I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not old, but I'm getting older, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Where do I start learning that? And I know I can do it. But
YouTube.
Just
YouTube. How to use the green screen effect on TikTok. It's a built-in effect right inside the camera on TikTok and Instagram, dude. So easy.
Cool. Yeah, I just need to take a stab at it and just see how easy it really is.
Yeah, if you can get the hang of that, I think you can make a career out of ripping up people's websites tastefully.
You're the second person who's told me that before. So
really? Oh, it's funny.
Two arrows in that direction must be the route to go.
Well, listen, as a business owner, I want to know, like, is my website good? Like, is my website up to snuff? And honestly, what you can do as a good way to generate leads through social media is, as you start to build more content, businesses will in the comments say, "Do my website next." Mm-hmm. What can we improve? And make that be your call to action. If you want me to review your website on TikTok, leave it in the comments below and I'll do it.
Yeah, I like that.
And now that's a super warm lead.
Yeah.
Like you've got a relationship with them now. So it's not weird if you're like, hey, I just posted that video. I hope you guys liked it. Listen, if you need any help with that, we do this. This is our service, blah, blah, blah. It gives you a nice little soft pitch.
Now I just got to work through that last little bit, which is the imposter syndrome. But I've done websites for the last 7 years. I know a thing or two. We've done that before too when we were doing our cold outreach, looking for businesses to reach out to.
Yeah.
And one of them, sure enough, we checked out his website. Design was lame. The content was lame. And right under the like testimonials section was a link to a Viagra website. They got hacked, right?
Amazing.
So, yeah, that's pretty easy.
Wow. Yeah, that's Yeah, I mean, dude, like honestly, stuff as simple as like update the copyright year on your website.
Yep.
Make it look like you care.
Put reviews on your website. Put your latest projects on your website. I primarily work a lot with home services, so that's some of the things I'm thinking about.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. So I mean, you could really carve out that niche if you really wanted to, but if you're open to everybody, just start with anybody. But yeah,
one question is, do you think this? Obviously, again, I know it. The more niche you are, the better. That is kind of a proven fact. But by me not niching and doing all this, do you think I'm putting myself at much of a disadvantage, or do you think it'd be just as fine following the tips we talked about today, being general?
Well, there's nothing that says you can't start out general and then niche down later.
Yeah.
Right. I think if you're starting out, I think with content, not with your business, obviously, I think when you're starting out, if you can cast a wide net just to see what works, I think you're okay.
Okay.
Though it's the age-old saying of the riches are in the niches, right? And I agree with that to a certain extent, but I also think that there's a lot to be said about growing an audience online that we've never been able to grow before. We're in an age right now where we can do that like we haven't done before. So yes, you can do that in your niche. Is it going to be a little harder? Yeah. But I would go broad. I think you haven't made content yet. So I think go broad to start. And then as you find out what's working, you'll niche down. You might find that lawyers gravitate towards you. And are you going to say no to a lawyer because all you want to do is say yes to home service? Probably not.
And already I have lawyers, I have online courses, I have e-commerce, I've got a ton of stuff already. So
yeah, man, I think you got to get over that hurdle of I got to start putting stuff out there. And then you can kind of fill in those details later, because you're even though you've been around for 7 years, you've been doing this for 7 years, you're an infant when it comes to the content game.
Yeah.
You got to get your feet wet on that. Start building an audience, start seeing what people gravitate towards, start seeing the types of things people like, and start seeing what types of businesses come to you, because a new niche might reveal itself to you down the line. Just because this is what you've known for a while doesn't necessarily mean this is what's going to be the main breadwinner for you.
That's a great point. I appreciate that.
So
yeah, I think for this side of things, all the questions have been answered. I don't know how much time you allotted for this. If you want to dive into the other one, but if not, that's cool.
I could do like another 10 minutes or so if you want. Okay.
I think just for that one would be, let's say we started a brand new house cleaning. They live up in the mountains, so it'd be kind of like cabin cleaning, but also potentially house cleaning in other places and just general yard work. If you were to market a company like that, obviously I know the website and SEO side of it, but more so like social media content. What kind of things would you recommend for a business like that?
Are they so they're brand new?
Yeah, if you were just starting one, like there's nothing right now at all. It's more concept. But let's say you accelerated a few months down the road, you want to start growing more. What would you do?
Yeah, I would go for I would put together a really hardcore offer and advertise the crap out of it on social. Okay. Make it so it's an offer that people can't refuse, and target it properly locally, because it's going to be very affordable to do that. If they were going national or even like statewide or something, I would say, yeah, you might not be able to afford to do it properly. But if you can afford to put a few $100s into a call to action campaign that says, here's $200 off your first cleaning or whatever it is, just to start generating those leads and start generating those customers, you need that cash flow pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, producing content that I would think stuff like before and after type of content would be good.
That time-lapse stuff.
What's that?
Maybe that time-lapse stuff showing the work get done.
Yeah. Have you seen the have you seen like a lot of like the car detailing videos on TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Stuff that shows like this place was nasty. we cleaned it up and this is what it looks like after we did it. You know, people just like watching that kind of stuff. I don't know why. It's satisfying to see something that was dirty now become clean. And again, you can use that as organic content. You could use it as paid content because that would also be good creative for a local cleaning company for sure. But again, I'm going to say short form video. Short form video. Like there's no, use your phone, use whatever gear you have. And just do it. Talk about, you say, so it's mostly like cabin cleaning.
Yeah. So that's probably where you mostly start out. Cabin. They live up in the mountains. So some are cabins, some are actual houses, kind of between.
Are they like rental properties? Like what's,
yeah.
Yep. Gotcha.
Properties.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
commercial too. Here's
5 things you need to buy in order to prevent bed bugs. Here's 3 things that you should be looking out for when buying carpets for your rental, stuff like that. Just content that's more educational, and then the more entertaining side of like that before and after to fill up that feed. And then anything that performs really well, you can use it as an ad and tie it to a really good offer.
Very cool. Yeah, that one's an interesting thing. So it's like I know the business side of it. I know the website side of it. I know what you should generally do. But when it comes to actually cleaning the houses and running all that stuff, that's not quite my cup of tea. So that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you how to run a cleaning company. I could just tell you that I think if you make a compelling offer to a very local audience and you make your ads localized, people will respond to that for sure. And as long as the website's good, and we know it's going to be good because you guys are doing it.
That's right.
So make that landing page very friendly, very easy to use, and very clear with a very clear call to action on it. I think that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where there's some really good ideas and stuff that, like you mentioned, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely why I've followed your stuff too, is because it's kind of motivation for me, because I really like seeing how simple your videos are, but they also work really well. So that's why I want to try something like that.
Yeah, you don't have to go crazy, man. You really don't. Like you don't have to be super flashy. You don't have to be you don't have to be super funny. You could just be yourself, and if you're giving people value in your videos, they will follow. I mean, I guess that's why you followed me, is because you got some value out of what I was saying, so much so that you wanted to, get on the phone with me. So you could do that for your web design company. You could do that for your cleaning company. The formula is the same. It's just what's gonna make or break it is the content itself. So if the first
thing is different.
What's that?
How is the same, but the thing is different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the process is the same. It's make valuable content that your ideal person would want to consume so that they grow to know, like, and trust you, and eventually they will do business with you. Because nobody's going to buy from you the first time they see you. It's just the reality of it. And we have an opportunity now on places like Instagram and TikTok where creators and businesses have an opportunity to build an audience of people that actually care about them for free.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since that's been the case. It's getting harder and harder, don't get me wrong, but you still have that opportunity to build even a small, because you don't need a lot to move the needle.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I think that point you made about essentially making habits, making a day that you're going to make video content, tying yourself more to something like that, supposed to, I need to get this video done this week and
Yep.
get this video done today. Because then it becomes more of a ball and chain supposed to an opportunity.
You don't want to make it that. You don't want to make it not fun. You don't want to make it feel like it's something that you have to do, even though you have to do it. I'm telling you have to do it. But if you might find something in it that you really enjoy, and then it's not like something that you have to do. I just had another idea for you. So let's say you're building out a homepage for a client. Record your screen the entire time and then time lapse it. You don't even have to create at that point. You're just doing what you're doing and recording it and then time lapsing it for a video later on down the line.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Same thing with your graphic designer. If they're designing a logo for a company or something, whatever that might be, record the screen and create a time lapse for it. People like seeing things come together. It's like there's something really satisfying about seeing that payoff at the end when they've invested like 30 seconds into it.
So if you're using something like Figma, you can just record your screen while you design it.
Yeah, sure. Do you have what are you, PC or Mac?
50-50.
Okay.
Right now I'm PC, but I also have a Mac laptop.
Yeah, that's fine. So Windows G on a PC will record your whole screen.
Okay.
And then on Mac, what is it? On Mac you just use QuickTime to record the whole screen. You don't even need a program.
Sometimes I use Loom, but I haven't used those ones before.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very easy to do. And then again, even if you don't use it right away, man, you've got it. You've got it in the bank where it's like, oh crap, I haven't posted something this week. Let me make a quick time lapse, and you've got videos that you can go back to and repost later on down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
So
inventory probably costs a lot.
Yeah, man. Well, I hope you got some value out of this. I hope you got something that you can take away and that it helps.
Tons. I got notes.
No, that's great. I appreciate it. I'm gonna follow you after this and make sure that you're actually doing it. But also, do you have any information on what you've done with other agencies for web design stuff?
So our white label stuff, it's very very new, is what I'll say.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have specific questions, but
none right now. I'm sure I will, but I think we'll set up another time to talk, maybe next week.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have like a page or any sort of workup. It's just one-to-one. What do you need? We kind of work out the deal based off of that. Some of them, for example, the SEO guy I mentioned, he just sends me the leads. Or, in fact, he's even like just sold some people for me. He just has them sign up.
That's great.
They're looking for like a productized service we have called velocityscience.co, specifically for like home services.
Cool.
So he works home services. He just sells them all day long. Another guy, they're a big place out of Chicago. They need kind of dev support. And so for us, they just kind of sent us the project details, and then we just gave them a quote for what it'd be for us to do it. So
Nice.
That's how we've done it so far.
Very cool. All right, right on. Yeah, I think we could talk about this a little bit further, maybe one day next week. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But you have any other questions for me or anything, or?
No, not yet. I will say that the social account that I reached out to you on will probably not be the one I'd be posting on, but I'll send you my business account.
I was just gonna say then, yeah, just shoot me a DM with the accounts that you're gonna post on. I want to follow them for sure.
Yeah, I will do.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. Good weekend.
All right, man. Enjoy. Thanks.